Hey everybody, welcome to Android Central and our hands-on with the Google Samsung Nexus S. Here it is. And you can see it does have that curved screen, which is a feature that makes people go, huh, rather than completely blows their mind. But it's there, it's slightly curved. That's cool. It is a Super AMOLED screen. I think it's 480 by 800. Blacks are very nice and black. Looks pretty good in sunlight. Unfortunately, these buttons disappear when you power it off. Which the power off is completely awesome. But since they're also in a funny order, you need to remember that there is actually an outline for them. You just need to hunt it down. Anyway, the buttons don't show up very well in sunlight either. Anyway, I'll stop niggling. Power button is over here on the right, just like most Galaxy S-Class phones. Volume over here. 5 megapixel shooter with a flash, a little VGA shooter on the front, the reversed chin, and that's about it. We'll pop off the battery cover here to show you that there's a very small 1500 milliamp battery, small in size. 1500 milliamp is actually pretty respectable. And here's the NFC chip for that stuff if that ever takes off and communicates via these two little connectors here. But the big story, of course, is that it is running Gingerbread. And what's new about Gingerbread? Well, it has these new, more subtle menus and the more subtle menu bar. It also has a new keyboard, which I gotta say I'm a really big fan of. It is really good. So we'll actually, another thing I want to show you up here in the menu bar, the GPS light sort of blinks on and off when you're going someplace. But anyway, so we'll type here. And I have not been very good with most of the Android keyboards in the past, but I just went to town on this keyboard and typed Android Central exactly right on the first try. And you know that's not in the dictionary, so that's very impressive. And here it is loading the page. And boom. And we'll see if it'll let us scroll here. Yeah, scroll test is coming along just fine. And it's loading up our last little bits of JavaScript. There we go. That's quite good. Zoom in. Very fast. Really no flies on that at all. Unfortunately, the quantum test doesn't seem to work on 2.3, or quadrant test, excuse me. It fails out at the end, so I can't get the final benchmark numbers. But we'll run a LinPack on it just to give you a sense for speed, which may or may not be completely accurate here on this Hummingbird 1 gigahertz processor. But 14 MFLOPS, which is really good, if that means anything to you. Other features on Gingerbread include a new text selection method. So we'll add a new note here. And hold our finger down, start selecting. You can drag these little guys around and cut, paste. So that's pretty cool, although I hear that it's not the same everywhere, but it's still nice to see that there's some better text selection that doesn't require a 5-way pad or a trackball or anything. And here on the browser, you can just start selecting right away. Just hold your finger down and on text, and you have selection. Tap it, copies it right to the clipboard there. So that's pretty cool. There is internet phone calling, SIP calling. I haven't gotten mine gotten mine to work quite yet, but that is okay. So you go here, you add an account, you give it your username, your password, and your server, and then you can go and do all the other stuff. But I think it's more, the reason I haven't gotten it working is more of a local router issue than it is a problem with SIP calling on Gingerbread. But that's there. One thing that's sort of annoying if you're a Google Voice user is there's use internet calling for all calls, internet calls, or ask for each call. And then Google Voice has the same sort of settings. And so if you want to use both, it defaults to using Google Voice if you set all to Google Voice, and so then you need to set both to ask, and then you just get a bunch of pop-ups and you try and make a call. But, that's the way of things. Maybe they'll have to add a toggle switch to that sometime in the future. And that's about it. There's a few other, bits and bobs here and there. The camera interface has not really been changed all that much from your standard camera interface. But it does have a front-facing camera. Which you can select here. And hey, there's us. And that's the quick run through of the Nexus S. Ooh, looks like it didn't like my wallpaper there, but now Lloyd is back. Hooray! It's available now exclusively at Best Buy, and it works on T-Mobile's bands. Although it doesn't do HSPA Plus, it just does a standard 3G, which really I've got no complaints about there. And it is, this week at least, the best darn Android phone available. Thanks.